Voilà.
Okay. Do you imagine, Mr. President, that this issue of a European youth meeting on their responsibility and could be put on the agenda of the Council in preparation of 2012? I bet that if there would be a strong initiative, we could convince the Chinese to be partners, and of course we would convince the Brazilians to be partners, in order that at the level of G20 in next November, because I know that the president of the G20 has some sensibility on global responsibility.
He happened to be French.
Definitely, yeah. It happens to be French, unfortunately. But I think that with your support, this idea of global responsibility and showing that they started with powerlessness and they built their power. They didn't say, "We're children, we're not experts, we have no responsibility." They say, "We unite because it's now and it's us." And it's a call upon the other stakeholders. And if we could put that on the agenda, I'm sure that we could, bring a very strong momentum at the moment of Rio +20, because it cannot be a failure, as you mentioned about Copenhagen. And the progress in the feeling of global responsibility and real physical community at the level of the youth. And really, we need your support. We need that to be at the agenda, because we've done our best, as you know, and we've gone very far. But to spread the charter, to enlarge the process, in Brazil it was millions of youth, and in Europe it was thousands. But if it would be put at the agenda of the Council, then it would be millions. And they are just the starting point. They don't pretend, to reveal to the rest of the world what they should think. They wrote it themselves, as you saw on the film, with an enormous conviction, enormous energy. And if we could, show that also on this dimension, the European Union can show the lead, because they will be in charge. We have done, my generation, I'm a bit older than you, we haven't done our job. And the burden would be on them. And if we could be on the agenda and give a process right now until, it would be an incredible encouragement.
Let's stay in contact to see how we organize this practice. I have just a few minutes for an exchange of view. Questions, remark, criticism, angriness.
Like questions is fine.
No, that's
I would like to ask you, what can you do so that decisions that have negative impacts on the environment will not be taken?
Please,
Okay. What can you do so that decisions that have negative impacts on the environment will not be taken?
Of course, your question is very, very general. I know this because environment is so varied in all these aspects, and most of the real competencies are by the member states, and so we have on the European level some broad directives. But as I said, I give you the example of the birth directive for member states. So you find some zones in which specific birds are protected. If member states don't do this, for instance, to give you that example, the European Commission can take that member state to court, the European Court. So that's on the European level, but you have also strong legislation, more and more strong legislation, according to some enterprises and some persons, even too strong for them. So there we made a lot of progress in the member states on environmental legislation and enforcing that legislation. But I give you an example on the European level. You may not have the impression, and I'm sure that you don't have that nothing happens, not at all. There's a lot of things happening in the member states. I'm speaking now on behalf of the Union, and also on behalf of the Union. The question is it enough? That's the first question. And the second is, do we work sufficiently together on a world scale? Because some problems we can't tackle them on a regional level or on a national level, because when you have a river, it normally don't stop at the border, huh? And especially when air is concerned and so on. So we have to work together, because environment and climate is in danger on a world scale. So there happens a lot, and even stronger regulation, enforcement of the regulation. But the second question is it enough, even on a local and regional scale? And do we work enough together, because the challenges are global, and most of our instruments are still local or national. There was someone with another.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What are the expectations for future generations such as our?
That depends on you also. Not only on me. Let's say that you always have to believe in mankind. And I mentioned to you the Club of Rome. The Club of Rome, in that famous book at the beginning of the 70s, told us at that time, this will end with the collapse of not of the world economy only, but it can be the end of the human race. And they put a date on it. All the trends are in the same direction. 2 years later, the oil-producing countries, the so-called OPEC countries, at that time, yes, we'll still remind it was a famous word, OPEC. Now it still exists, but it's not so famous anymore. They said, okay, if this will happen, that will be for the oil-producing countries a catastrophe also. If we create some, what we call in the economy a cartel, saying that we put our interests together, and we are making some agreements between us that we, for instance, don't produce more than X liters or barrels of oil. Then can we have a price increase, because there is scarcity of oil. And so they did, 2 years after the book of the Club of Rome. Price went up in 2 months, 4 times. The price was 4 times higher than before. So it was really a huge price increase due to that kind of agreement between oil producing countries. What happened later on? In some countries now, they consume energy and oil as much as in 73, although economic growth is much higher than at that period. In other countries it is half as much as you could normally have expected in 73. Why? Because people became creative, inventive. There is a price increase, so we have to be more less energy intensive. That's what we are experiencing all these days with electric buses, electric cars, and so on. And what is just now a dream of an idea, of an experiment that can rather rapidly, rather quickly become something big and on a larger scale. What's happening now in China is really amazing, really amazing. They are not very enthusiastic on the Copenhagen Accord, but they are working very hard on, for instance, green technologies. We have some windmills here, but they are developing on a tremendous scale windmills. So never underestimate human energy, human creativity, from as well as in the on the economic side, as on more in on NGOs and so on. So man is not man is a dynamic creature. And so you can't say today there is a problem and nothing will happen and we go to the catastrophe. That was the film of Al Gore. Say if nothing happened, then this will happen. No, if we are undertaking action, if there is pressure from your conferences and for other initiatives on all kinds of scale. I heard that when you said I was active on a local scale already, and now I see that you have to work on a broader base. So don't be desperate at all. Keep your enthusiasm and keep your energy. We really can change a lot of things, and will not end with saying, of quoting President Obama, say, well, yes, we can. I was very, very close. But indeed, not joking, but there is, and I'm not pessimistic at all. I'm very hopeful, on one condition, of course, that we give people the opportunity to be creative and to be active on the ecological front. Unfortunately, I have to leave you after my sermon.
It has been a great privilege.
In any case, I thank you for coming. It's for me also very refreshing. Although I'm a father of 4 boys and girls between 30 and 24. I lost some contact with those beneath 24. And so I'm grateful that you were here and that you show your engagement. I thank Pierre and the other ones for belonging to the older generation, but still very much believing in the future.
Thanks to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.